Welcome. It's Tuesday. Martaverse here with the updates. We're going to check what happened with Bitcoin since the last time I streamed, and we're going to take a few alt requests. As always, the Bitcoin analysis is sponsored by my favorite broker, Eightcap. The guys are super cool, a regulated broker from Australia with great liquidity and very low spread. If you want to give them a go, if you want to try out the amazing Eightcap, the link is in the description. I'm going to see what has happened, and I understand the sentiment right now isn't the most positive, but we're not here to think in terms of feelings. We're going to be looking at everything from technical analysis and what to expect next. So let's go and dig into Bitcoin first.
How are you feeling about things anyway, more generally?
I think it's inevitable for me anyway. We'll see lower, but I don't know if we're going to see it immediately. I think there might be slight relief or a little bit more side action from here.
Pull up your BTC chart on a 4-hour time frame. Have a look at this.
You should have. Do you see my screen?
I do.
Yeah. Okay, so I have the weekly because I wanted to show what we spoke as well with because I do lives with, do you know what's his name? Bleeding Crypto.
I don't know, actually. No, it's not a name that I know.
Yeah. It looks very weak. That's 4 hour for you there.
Right, pull a line across the three bottoms that you see. Now, the only thing this might be it's on the cusp of being invalidated slightly. But what you've formed is a very, very, very clear triple bottom.
Yeah.
Where the first bounce, see that first bounce on that support line, Marta?
Yeah.
What you typically look for in a triple bottom is a high, the first high to be the highest high. So when you've got the second bounce, you've got a lower high and then a lower high again in the third. The problem is at the moment we're right on the support.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a bounce out of here. Believe it or not.
For a bounce here. Yeah, I won't be surprised. I do think with this structure, and just I think in general it kind of feels like there should be some sort of there's too many people waiting for much lower immediately.
Correct.
You know?
Correct. Too much negative sentiment for me, and like even if it goes down a little bit, it's worth for me. I personally took some trades on late last night that I'm holding for a certain position. I'm willing to kind of go for it because I just feel that you've got a descendant triangle there that's formed with a triple bottom.
You can see that
at a period, where the market is at complete kind of negative sentiment, fears kicking in, the press, the media, everyone, and I just always think those things go hand in hand for something. But I could be wrong. It's something you need to trade very, very cautiously with. But to me, this is a safer place to trade than it was when people were buying at 70k BTC. Yeah. So kind of think of it that way, and then go, well, why is it such a problem? You look for projects with utility. You look at the long term, you zoom out, and all in all, I think you've got something good. So glad to see you're feeling the same way.
Yeah, 100%. It's an interesting week as well to kind of in around. Obviously, with depending which low you want to take, these are not exact same, but just the psychological level. Like when you see this line, it's in around 15,500. There's a few dollars here, 15,470. Obviously, it will depend on what exchange you're looking at as well. But it's just that kind of area with like a couple of % of a difference. But those psychological levels, I think they do play a part in trapping people into, assuming or presuming things, and it's interesting to see how price actually behaves around here. But for a second, I want to just because this is a weekly chart myself and Bleeding Crypto when we did the live recently. I'm going to remove all my indicators because it's nice to see a chart that is a little bit cleaner. So obviously this yellow line was a very, very important level because this was December high, and people were always arguing, that price never really went down below the previous high. And look, obviously, this is not an indicator to ever use. Price can easily break below. So like taking into consideration, we also marked this high here in June 2019, which was in around, where am I looking at here? My screen is in around 14,000. And Bleeding Crypto has his fib retracement, as he's added a couple of fibs to that. So I'm just going to draw what we did. I've added his numbers to the chart, to the indicator. So 0.886, that's the interesting part about it is, I think he was explaining, he takes this from I think Forex and how the big institutions buy. They're not going to buy at 40% discount. They're not going to buy at 50% discount. They will wait for close to 90% discount. So there it is, the 0.88. It's really in around the 10,000 mark, 11,000 mark. It's just making it clear again for anybody that hasn't watched that live. We weren't saying that this is the bottom. What confluence we've seen with previous market cycles, because we went back in time, we looked at previous bull markets and bear markets, we've compared that. There is about 3 to 5% of margin when it comes to that 0.886 level on your fib, where price wicked just in around that level and then bounced. So it's a good confluence to bear in mind, where you could be buying heavier and thinking of, you know. So like, just to answer your question there, Nikos, it makes sense definitely when you look back at previous cycles. I'm not going to do that now because there's a whole hour dedicated to that on my YouTube. I don't want to repeat myself. Now this is an Eightcap chart, because those videos I record with Eightcap guys. So if you go back on obviously Binance, or I was going to say FTX chart, not anymore.
Careful.
So there's obviously more data, which you could, we have all that obviously dedicated. The whole stream was dedicated to going through, you know, where we're going to see Bitcoin to bounce. For sure, though, I think right now it's well overdue. There was just too much in terms of volatility and negativity. This is sharp. I don't know what would have to happen right now. Obviously, this you can see why this is also very weak. This level we're at the minute. Although, well, look at this now, Nikos. Now, even looking at the December, you know, you see those wicks here where that was our support. It was a bounce level, and then it was a resistance. So looking even around here, it was also a pivot point. There's some confluences again to go with our narrative right now, where we could see some side action here, and maybe even a little relief. Those that follow me as well, you know, my style is very much based on the hybrid method and on the Dino method with clear patterns. We've seen that double top here, the M formation. We had drop level 1. We're seeing drop level 2. This could be drop level 3. Whether we're going to see drop level 4, I mean, what we just said there a second ago, this is a fib, the one in question, where we have that marked on the chart in around $10,000. And it will be a very big level of interest for many, and possibly we'll see that. How soon? I don't know. I don't know what if it was to happen immediately. It would have to be another very big We seen FOD yesterday with Genesis, but apparently they came out and they'd make a statement they're not going to be filing for bankruptcy. There was just some rumors yesterday, and the market actually didn't do anything sudden and chaotic as many were expecting. So now Tuesday today, Wednesday, Thursday, best days to trade if you're trading. Fridays, it's the day when your market makers and institutions take money off the table. Don't rush to that. But if you are, it's a bit of a support here. And if you're trading, just remember your risk, guys. Don't trade everything you have in your wallet. And if you're buying long term, DCA is the name of the game for a while. Unless you wanted to say anything else, Nikos, about Bitcoin, I will be probably moving on.
No, Marta, I think it's a good synopsis. I kind of agree with everything you've said there. And I think it's back to the point I was making, whereby I think people need to think about what they're trying to achieve long term as well. So the DCA element that you kind of mentioned there at the moment, we're never going to catch a perfect bottom. This isn't to say this is the bottom or the middle. We really don't know. This could end up at 4K for all we know in the future. It could end up bouncing from here. But the problem is when you try and second guess the market and you try and predict where it might go next, it can be very, very difficult. So if you're a long-term hodler, I think your point there about DCA certainly makes the most sense, and take your time to sort of scale into positions. This could go on for a long, long time. And if it does, then the best thing to do is just allocate a small portion of your available funds every month, and just pick tokens and pick projects that you can see are viable and they have a future. And I'm sure that the market will correct itself with time. This could go on a long time, as markets have proven before. But I am a complete maximalist when it comes to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. I think we haven't even seen anything yet in terms of the future of the market, in terms of what projects are going to achieve from a technology standpoint, what they will bring, the utility, and those fundamentals will impact the technical. So, yeah, that's an input from me, Marta. Good work as always, and I'll look forward to the rest of your stream.
Awesome. Now, usually I give, obviously, to anybody that's tuned into the live stream, if you want to request anything you may be interested in any asset that we look at. If not, I just go back through the chat in the Discord and see what the guys have requested. So unless you have something, Nikos, you wanted to check on, except for Bitcoin, we can go and have a look at it now.
Oh, they're all following a very similar pattern at the moment, because it is dictated by Bitcoin. There's very few. I don't think there's, if any, other than your wallet projects. I think SafePal was the only one that was, and Trust Wallet were the only two that managed to have an organic sort of pump because of what happened in the news last week. But out with that, everything else is sort of chained to the movement of BTC. For me, without kind of looking at shilling projects and everything, the biggest projects that I'm looking at the moment, I would certainly say an ecosphere that I am extremely passionate about for the future is the Cosmos ecosphere. And I think anything to do with I think the Atom token is going to have a really big place in the market in the future. I think it will, IBC and obviously the Internet of Blockchain and everything they're doing, and joining all of those different hubs and projects up and interconnecting them is what blockchain has failed to do for a long time, and they've found a way to create those links and bridges within their own network. And I think all of the applications and technology building that can actually be used in the real world will see them as potential players when it comes to the adoption.